The first bank safes were made of wood, reinforced with sheet iron, which thieves simply smashed open. Then came safes made of solid iron, so the robbers merely blew those up. Then, to the crook's dismay, came safes made of steel. Creating steel safes starts naturally enough with sheets of solid steel, up to 3.5 centimetres thick. An automated oxygen and gas-fueled flame slowly cuts the plates that will form the walls of the safe. A welder with a manual blowtorch frees up the plates with a few last cuts. Then, using a large magnet, the plates are stacked. Each one is labelled so the workers will know in what order to assemble them. Using a MIG welder, the plates are assembled by soldering them together. The soldering wire is a composite of metal alloys. Elsewhere in the factory, a semi-automatic saw cuts flat bars of steel. These bars will form the frame that will surround the steel plates. Under a cascade of lubricants, a machine called a turret fashions steel bars into the moving parts of the safe's locking mechanism and also its hinges. Usually, an assembly line moves the raw materials around a factory floor so that separate machines can work their magic. Here, it's the tools that do the moving. Next, pieces of sheet metal which have been cut into shapes by lasers are bent in a press to make parts for the mechanism. Meanwhile, the large steel plates cut earlier go into a hydraulic press to make them perfectly flat. It's finally time to put all the components together. The frame is constructed in an assembly jig, where the plates for the sides, top and bottom are inserted. Using the MIG welder again, the pieces are fused together. The angles are measured. Then a giant clamp is used to square off the safe. Finally, the back plate of the safe is installed and the joints welded. The safe is stood upright and the welding lines ground down until they're smooth. This factory also produces a composite safe, made of soft materials such as copper, aluminium and low-grade steel. But it has a cement core, making this safe harder to break into. The finished safe gets 3 coats of paint. Then in the finishing department, the mechanical or electronic locks are installed, along with the time locking mechanisms. The time lock allows access to the safe only at certain times of the day, such as the bank's business hours. Even if the locks are picked, the door won't open outside those set hours, keeping your hard-earned cash away from the grubby fingers of the local bank robber.